Hello again, good afternoon to you. Welcome to Business. The VRA says there has been a decline in demand for power from the national grid as a result of investments into solar and other renewable energy sources by some individuals and businesses. This development is said to be posing a threat to the sustainability of the ECG and other power producers if government does not intervene. Commercial Director of the VRA, Dr. Isaac Doku, suggests the cost of components used in producing power to the national grid should be reduced drastically to attract a drop in tariffs. This, he thinks, will get the people to continue to rely on the national grid for power.
It boils down to, I'm not an economist, but it boils down to basic economics. If the price is low, definitely there will be more demand. I mean, during the doomsday era, I believe that a lot of industries have to do self-generation. They went in to buy diesel, gensets, etc. And at the end of the day, you realize that maybe the cost of operating the genset was cheaper than buying from the grid. And so the only way to end up or to help the industries to put aside that genset is when the power from the grid is cheaper than what actually the genset is able to give it to them. And again, now predominantly a lot of our gas, or we're using gas for a lot of our generation. So I think it's just simple. If the input into the generation of electricity, which is mainly gas, is lower, then that benefit can pass on to the end user or the consumer. Household, yes, they are consuming, but like I said, household have gone in for, a lot of people have got solar panels, etc. But the key is actually the industry. If there's more industrial consumption, then you can see that the demand is going to rise. But the only way there can be higher demand from industry is that if the price is cheaper than they generating. There are alternative sources of fuel now. Price of solar used to be high, but the price of solar coming down. And people are just looking, at the end of the day, they are looking at their profit margin. So if the input from an alternate source will be cheaper than what is in the grid, they'll definitely go to that alternate source. So the key thing is that the inputs into generating the power for the grid, I think we have to strive to bring that down. And once we do it, those benefits will go to the consumer.
The Ministry for Fisheries and Aquaculture has piloted its policy on aquaculture for food and jobs at the James Camp Prison's fish farm here in Accra. About 1,000 sacks of fish feed were donated to the prison's fish farm and 3,000 fingerlings introduced into the fish pond. Charles Aiti has more.
The choice for James Camp Prison's fish farm was to complement government's effort to introduce fish farming as a vocation for the 300 inmates at the facility. In all, 150 sacks of fish feed were donated to the farm and 3,000 fingerlings introduced to the fish pond. Sector Minister Elizabeth Afolekwe explained the motive behind this move.
Today we are starting with the James Camp Prison. Other institutions like the police service, we are liaising with a lot of institutions to produce aquaculture within those institutions. And also, as part of the Aquaculture for Food and Jobs program, we are setting up the youth. It's really a youth-oriented program. We want to set some youth up in aquaculture production. We want to start some farms for these youth.
In terms of the investment capital the government is injecting to this initiative?
We are injecting over 10 million Ghana cedis.
This program follows growing concerns over Ghana's depleting fish stock. Currently, Ghana consumes over 950,000 metric tons of fish annually, currently importing over 60% of its fish, and in 2016 imported $135 million worth of fish because of the reduction in the country's fish stock.
And that's all in business on the news. I'll coming back in about 20 minutes or so for the market, please. My name is Emmanuel Abuachi. Have a good afternoon.